You step in there with me, ain't nothing to talk about, ain't nothing to say. It's all right here and I'm on your ass. When you step in there with me, ain't nothing to talk about, ain't nothing to say. It's all right here and I'm on your ass.
So I feel like Jamahal Hill got a lot of unnecessary slack and backlash with the way he carried himself leading to UFC 300 with his fight against Alex Pereira. In my opinion, he was just selling the fight, being confident, and talking about how he was gonna knock Alex Pereira out. And honestly speaking, I kind of believed him because he did have the ability to do that. Jamahal Hill is a very good fighter and someone I myself, and I'm sure a lot of fans, saw one time as the dark horse in the light heavyweight division. So I didn't see anything wrong with the way he was confident and talking about how he was going to beat Pereira. Now, I can admit he may have been a little extra with the way he carried the stoic head and broke it in front of Pereira at the press conference, and then catching Pereira's imaginary arrow and breaking it leading to the fight. Yeah, that may have been a little extra, but in my opinion, he definitely made that fight more interesting than it initially was. Honestly speaking, I feel like Jamahal Hill has been on this constant downward spiral, being overdosed with copium, or somehow competing for the biggest crash out in MMA.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Honestly, every time I get online, almost every month since UFC 300, Jamahal Hill has gone off on someone, some fighter, some random fan, fighters in different weight classes. He started to really get my attention when the banger and absolute war of a fight between Alex Pereira and Khalil Roundtree was over, and the only reaction he had to that was yawning in the most awkward manner. And then he puts out this video trying to explain why he had that reaction, but at the same time doesn't even say anything.
The main event. Yeah. Yo, before we even get into this breakdown, like, that's hilarious. It's crazy how y'all see a clip with no context, no nothing, and just y'all just be ready to talk shit, just attack and come disrespectful as ever. And it's like it's hilarious. I'm ready to go. Was it entertaining? Yes. Am I impressed? No. Did I see anything in the cage that scares me or that I didn't expect to see? No.
Bruh. And I find it really funny for him to talk about how people are disrespecting him, but he disrespected both those fighters, yawning in that awkward way after that fight. Jamahal Hill versus Jiri Prochazka is set for UFC 311, and I cannot wait for that fight. But one of the funniest interactions I've seen is Jamahal and Jiri pretty much going back and forth about who lost to Alex Pereira in a more embarrassing manner.
Hello, time to say something after a long time. I'm really looking forward for my next fight. And Jamahal, don't speak about my performances, fight IQ and all these things, because in your last fight you didn't show nothing really. And the same guy, same Ankalaev, in your last 3 fights you showed totally nothing. So stay on the ground. And okay, so let's see you 18th of January. I'm going to win. I'm going for win.
You got dominated and knocked out, completely shut down, completely exposed, and then got done bad, bro. You did bad. I got caught. You got dominated. It's a huge difference. I put on dominant performances. You survive and get a win. We not the same.
It's a funny conversation. Jiri is saying Jamahal Hill showed nothing, which is true. Pereira knocked him out quick, even though he was coping hard after that loss. Jamahal Hill talks about how Jiri was totally dominated and destroyed, and that's facts. That's what happened. Like I said, it's been going off, excuses, still talking shit about Alex Pereira, and finally he runs into Alex Pereira. Then Jamahal Hill's talking shit. Alex Pereira throws the glove at him. Okay, let's fight. Since you've been talking shit, for some reason Jamahal Hill doesn't take the glove and just keeps talking and talking and talking.
I was at the PI earlier, and Alex was there. Just went to go up and have a conversation. You know, ask him what we on. Since we don't have to talk about it across Twitter. Initially, when I went up to him, it was smooth. It was like, don't run the heavyweight. We need to run this back. His translator said like, oh, he said, you still asleep, or you still woke up and shit. Like, I'm wide awake. I'm wide awake now. You can get put to sleep for real. And then it kind of went to a whole like fake ass like, oh yeah, come get the gloves and go in the cage. Which I replied, what the fuck we need gloves for? We not getting paid right now. You know what I mean? I get paid to fight. I get paid to put on gloves and fight. And when I'm out in a situation like that, we could throw hands right now. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck it. We're going to get paid. I'm not going to ruin my bag. Because here's the thing, right? If I'd just reached over and hit him there and we started fighting right there, I could possibly lose out on the fight, on my next fight, and any opportunities I have left. I got restrictions now at the PI and all these other things and stuff like that. So we get paid. We made a lot of money the first time we fought. Yeah. So why would I not make a lot of money when I knock his ass out the next time?
The explanations, the excuses, they're not adding up. Like, if you know you might lose the fight and it might affect your next fight, why are you talking shit? Why are you talking shit if you're not gonna fight on site like you've been saying you would? It literally doesn't make any sense, and there's no need to talk. There's no need to say anything. And I do like Jamahal Hill. I'm a fan of Jamahal Hill. I've always believed in him. I've always seen his potential even before he fought Alex Pereira. And I still think he does have that potential. But the way he's carrying himself, man, bro, it's not it.
I mean, that's some clown. I'm gonna be honest. Like, why even go over there and say anything if you're not prepared to do anything?
That's what I mean. I feel like that's one of the moments that I try to make sure I stay ready for, like, as a fighter. You know, if I was with Jake Paul right now and he threw me the gloves, like I'm sparring.
Yeah,
I'm sparring
get it.
Right now. Like, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And if because Jamahal has talent,
it made no sense because I didn't like. Are you walking over there to fight him?
Yes.
Because and then like you walked over there, like he's trying to get views or trying to act a certain way by going over here and jumping in his face. And he's lucky Alex didn't have a mindset like somebody like me or you, because honestly, he should have got hit.
Not one thing said was a lie. Why would you talk all that and then meet the person and then be like, oh, you got to fight for money? And on top of that, the whole going back and forth with random people and fans on social media is just a terrible look, and he definitely needs some type of new PR or social media operative or something. He needs something. Someone needs to take his phone away from him.
He's out of line, but he's right.
And of course, Jamahal Hill did not take that conversation lightly.
Gang, you a bitch and you one of the biggest clowns and pussies on the roster. They keep you around to get slept by debut fighters. I've made more money than you and you've been here 3 times as long as I. So I would expect you to know the money game. Find out what it is when I'm on that time. For real, for real. Followed up with, and like I told Alex, we don't need gloves. Same goes for anybody that want to try me that I'm not getting paid for.
Jamahal Hill chimes in at one point talking about how Magomed's supposed to fight Alex Pereira, puts his own 2 cents that nobody asked, and then Ankalaev responds and says Jamahal Hill should mind his business and pretty much calls him a bum. But what do we expect? Of course, Jamahal Hill goes off again.
Bum is insane, bro. Bum is insane for the simple fact of, one, to you, I'm a bum in no realm, on facet of anything. We have common opponents, so we can measure the value of each one of our game and each one of our fighting styles. Remember Santos, they dropped you, you went to a decision, hugging him and all of those things. Yeah, I finished that guy. You remember how you got a title shot, you know what I mean, given whenever the belt was vacant and you fumbled it, you couldn't stop leg kicks, or you decided to be a crotch sniffer for the last 2 rounds or whatever, and you fumbled then. But who stepped up to the plate? Champ, as you may call me, you're not addressed as such. pipe down when you talking to me, bruh.
Someone needs to tell Jamahal Hill he does not need to respond to every single thing.
He was a sore loser to Pereira, right? Let's just be honest. He was a sore loser. He got knocked out, right? And as men, as fighters,
tough to deal with.
That became a champion. It's hard. It's hard to deal with, and the whole world laughs at you, and they all talk, you know. And he's a proud man. And he's very capable with his hands, and he's a world-class fighter. And he's, you know, he truly feels that he got lucky. He truly feels that when the referee went to step in and then Pereira said, "No, you're good," there was like a little moment of loss of concentration or whatever. Now, whether you agree with that or whether you don't, whether you think that's Jamahal making excuses, doesn't matter. That's what he believes in his mind.
At Bisping calling me a sore loser and talking about as men on losing is the craziest to me ever. Bro, you've been crying and salty about Dan Henderson for 20 years and Vitor Belfort for 15 years. You would think spending half your career losing, you would know how to. Bisping reposted that. He wrote, "Did you watch what I said, or did you read some shitty headline? If it's a headline, I'll accept your apology. I said you were a bit of a sore loser because you're a true competitor," and then went on to explain how if energy is channeled correctly, it could be truly beneficial to a fighter's mindset. I was being nice, not talking shit. Didn't have you down as the easily offended type. All the best.
I mean, what do you say to that? It's almost like you can't even criticize him. You can't even talk to him. You can't even communicate with the guy. You just mention his name and he goes off. Absolutely off. It makes no sense.
Jamahal Hill has been going off on X today. This all started with the footage of Jamahal grappling with Aljamain Sterling. Aljo reposted the footage. He wrote, "Good rolling with the champ." This user replied saying, "The champ? Are you rolling against yourself?" Aljo replied, "My brother, once a champion, you are always a champion. Show a little respect." Jamahal then chimed in. He said, "Bums that could never always have the most to say." This user replied, "Stop biting. For a born killer, you're super f***ing sensitive." Jamahal replied, "Only weak bitches say shit like that when called out for hating. Go make some money, bum." This user replied, "Is that why you can't keep Alex's name out of your mouth? You must have the most to say about him because you could never beat him. He knocked you f***ing silly." Jamahal replied, "Alex wasn't mentioned here at all. It's you fruits that keep other men's names in y'all mouths." This user says, "LMAO. Put a hand on me and kids will be raised by a single mother." Jamahal replied, "Y'all keep talking this killing shit, bruh. I'm from real shit. One of y'all try me for real. My people will kill everything you love down to your dog. Find something safe to do." This user replied, "You can't handle criticism no matter what. It's the ego that's the problem." Jamahal replied, "Y'all disrespectful and hating meat slobbers who have egos while accomplishing nothing. You don't get where I am without criticism and holding yourself to a standard. Point proven. There's a reason y'all are bums hating instead of doing." Jamahal then shifted focus to this post. It says, "Which fighter has the most excuses after a loss?" Fans tagged Jamahal a lot in the replies. Jamahal replied, "Yet nobody can name the excuses they are claiming I'm making. Y'all are just riding haters that want to feel like you're on the level of somebody you can't f with in any aspect of life." This user replied, "Bro just knew this post was about him." Jamahal said, "I was tagged 20 times by riding bitches like yourself." And this user said, "Alex owns you, bro." Jamahal replied, "I own you, and all you clowns mine."
This isn't even half of it. I could go on and on. I could make an hour video going off on Jamahal Hill's crash out episode. Like every time I go online, I see Jamahal Hill and my reaction is,
Oh shit, here we go again.
He's out of line, but he's right.
it's Jamahal Hill, please lock in. I know you can get back to it. Get your mind right, bro. Don't forget to like the video. If you guys like the video, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you guys later.
Dominated and knocked out.